on the entire internet, and it's simulcast in glorious HD on 2 different channels, the best ones out there, My Tesla Live and Bear's Workshop. Fast Charging with BnB. I am Brian.
And I'm Bear.
And here we are once again. Hey guys, slap a little bit of like.
What's that?
Slap a like. Slap a like.
Oh,
Slap a like.
is that what they're calling it now?
You gotta. Oh, welcome one and all.
All right, so that was a horrible introduction on my side because the first 30 seconds was not there yet. So,
It was. It probably was.
yeah, what's the difference? All right, so today we have some news stories, and for next week's show, I'm going to got to do my 10-day work release thing, so I have to go spend some time away. And we're going to pre-record an episode for next week, which is going to actually be different and hopefully exciting.
Well, and actually, I should say, next week's pre-tape was an idea that came in on the comments on, I want to say, I don't remember if it was on my channel or yours, but it was a comment that came in saying, hey, you guys did a show like this before, do another one, update it, and we're doing it.
Yes. So, big surprise.
Yeah. Thanks for the suggestions. Always leave them suggestions. Hey, Bear, what's going on this week, man?
Well, we have some updates on some cars. Some
Weird.
Yeah, which is definitely something we're different. We've got the Volvo XC40 and the C40 are getting a range and a charging boost. And if you look at this car, it kind of has a little bit of a Polestar look. Don't you think?
It absolutely does now that you mention it.
Yeah. Well, and they're kind of sister cars anyway, so it would make sense that they would look alike.
And they're both, and I don't mind the look of the Polestar. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, this isn't a bad looking car. My only problem with it is it still has the Volvo name, and people just don't get excited about Volvo. Volvo's always been known for their safety, not their excitement. But
Yeah.
it's not bad looking car. The stats aren't horrible either. But they're getting a little bit of an upgrade. Hopefully every year we'll see this with the major manufacturers, the legacy, because they only do this stuff for new model years, as opposed to in line as they're going, whatever Tesla calls it when they make changes on the fly. But,
So, this is what I was hoping to see. Constant improvement, a little bit more range, a little bit more power, a little bit better overall. This is what we need industry-wide. And this is what I think we're going to see. Now, of course, these 7.4 second 0 to 60, and that's not why you're buying it. But it's fine.
yeah, it might be why you don't buy it though.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, top speed of 160 kilometers, that would be, let's see, 90-ish? No, about 100 miles an hour.
How the hell am I going to get to work on time?
Not by taking the Autobahn. Stick to surface streets, my friend. Well, and there are markets where there are people who will not, you can't drag race it.
No. But let's talk about a car that actually I find to be a little bit more exciting than this one. The
Cayenne?
No. That's not the logo. That's not what it says.
Oh, really?
Really? You don't know what that says? It took me a year to figure it out.
No, we talked about this already.
Yeah, it took me a whole year.
That apparently says Kia. No, I like the look of it.
I do too. And I've driven one, and I like the drive. It was fast and it was furious. I didn't buy the car because of the dealership issues, but I would have one now if it wasn't for the greedy dealerships. But I did not know that they sold nearly 80,000 of these. That's quite a number.
Yeah. This is well over 2,000 a week they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Or about 2,000 a week they're selling on average. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, are they profitable? Because if they're profitable, I would expect them to ramp this number better. But I'm guessing they're not.
Maybe they still are somewhat limited on supplies.
You know, I need to stop hearing that excuse from every manufacturer because all the big dogs are still using it. If you're still supply constrained in 2023, you need to fix it. It's a yo problem, not anyone else's.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one company that we know of that's not supply constrained at this point, and that's Tesla. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
I feel like I've heard of them.
New startup.
Nice.
Yeah, they're not doing so well.
No, no.
They just keep building factories instead of cars, which I don't understand that concept at all.
So, Lincoln, how are they doing?
Um, I think this is a funny article because it talks about how 40% of Lincoln dealers say no to Ford's EV plans. I think that's what Ford wants them to do, because
Yes.
Ford says you have to build 2 level 3 DC fast chargers and 7 level 2 chargers in order to sell a Lincoln car going forward in the future, because Lincoln's going to be going all electric. And they, for some reason, it cost $900,000 to do that, and I don't think it really does cost that. I think that can be done at less price.
Much, much, much cheaper.
Yeah.
And so to me, the headline's backwards. It should say 60% of Lincoln dealers say yes to their plans, or rather, if you scroll down, it's 88% by volume.
Okay.
So only 12% of the Lincolns sold are sold by dealers who did not participate in this.
And those are the ones in the smaller markets, obviously. But I think that Ford is totally okay with having these dealers say, no, we can't do it. And then they've got them off the dealer list, because Ford is going to go and sell direct to consumer. And the more dealerships that they get off the list, the less people that can sue them.
Right. And you also have to honor MSRP. You have to honor reservation pricing. Now, you can still rip off customers with paint protection and etched glass and
Do you know anybody who just got ripped off on that?
Do I?
Yeah.
No. Do you?
Yeah, well, I can look at your screen and look at me.
Yeah. Well, I assume that you're a savvy buyer. Was I mistaken about you?
Oh, I was a savvy buyer, but if I didn't pay for it, I wasn't a buyer, because
Right.
the dealership added on the Mustang Mach-E. I ordered one, waited 7 months. When it came in, they threw on window tint, paint protection, and window etching, and said, if you don't pay for it, we're not going to sell you the car, and we'll sell it to someone else for $5,000. Or we'll take it off, but we're going to put a $5,000 markup on it. And they left me no choice on that. So I ended up getting some sort of paint protection that I'll never need. The window tint wasn't on the car yet, so I said, it's not on there. I'm not paying for it. I don't even want my windows tinted, which is not really true, but that's what I told them, because I wasn't going to pay $500 to have 2 windows tinted, because the rest of the windows are already tinted. So yeah, they strong-armed me, they bullied me, they knew that I wanted the car, and they left me no choice to pay an extra $1,000. So what did I do? I sent a message to Ford. And what did they say? Oh, yeah? Price is set by the dealers.
Yeah. Peace among worlds, baby.
Yeah. So they told me to hit pavement and go. Ford wanted to help me, despite everything that's been said. So yeah, they could just throw on a bunch of crap that you would never need. And I was like,
But on the plus side, Ford does have the best battery in the Mach-E. Yours is doing great, right?
mine, yeah, it's a little. It's never said that it has a 250-mile range, which is what it's supposed to come with. The most it's ever said was about 234, but on average it says 210 to 220, fully charged, 100%.
That's bad. And you can't use 100% unless you wish to get stranded 30 feet from the charger when you pull up.
I've got it set to 100%, so that it always charges 100%. From my understanding, I don't know if I'm right. I'm probably just screwing up the car. The first 10 and the last 10% of the 70 some odd kilowatt battery is not used.
Is already a buffer.
Yeah.
But TBD. We shall see. You're already getting a shorter life than you're supposed to out of it.
Yeah.
But
So
who knows, man?
if I was going to go down to 90%, I would have the car would be sitting at 190 miles every morning after it was charging. No, that's definitely not what I paid for.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you can't drive it to zero. You just can't. So that's just, I'm just glad that EVs are so quiet.
Yeah. What are they going to do when they start making electric motorcycles?
Well, they'll go, I assume, the Dodge Challenger route and put a big loudspeaker on the outside.
You know what? If they could do something besides like motorcycle noises, and maybe just like a screaming baby, or like a ball,
Yeah, that's what I.
maybe a ball bouncing into the road. That kind of noise, you know.
Oh, yeah. What'd be great is just dogs barking.
Dogs barking would be awesome. I like that one.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're being chased by a bunch of ghosts of dogs.
Or maybe just ghost noises.
Oh, yeah. Spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky. I like it. So, yeah, Harley Davidson has confirmed that they're going to go all electric in the future.
Yes, with their spinoff called Livewire, which was a SPAC that became not a SPAC a couple of months ago and promptly went from $10 to, they're at $5.22 right now. Don't know what that was all about. But yeah, they did have a SPAC, and they've got their little company Livewire, and they're going to be making all their electric motorcycles. I can't see them getting rid of the name Harley Davidson if they want all electric.
No, but you've got to wait for the mental psychological shift of Harley owners to get from the screaming potato machine over to the Tron Legacy bike.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because all those bikers, besides loving their noise, they're all, the biker community is not going to be like, oh, well, yeah, I want to save fuel. They're not into that for the most part, and you don't get the advantage of the speed as much as you do in a car. Like when you go from a normal ICE car to a Model S, you suddenly have all this power, and it helps to make up for the lack of the noise that comes with it. An electric motorcycle is going to be very quick, but it's going to be barely quicker than an ICE motor in a motorcycle because they're both fairly quick.
You're already approaching the limit to how much you can keep the front end on the ground.
Right. And you're not always, you're sometimes passing that limit. So
yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I think the price is good, not the $30,000, but the starting price that they're suggesting of the $22,000. If they can get it to $22,000, they'll sell some, but we'll see.
Yeah, but
they need
to make some hogs, some like big old Harleys.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that, but that's one to watch without a doubt. Another thing to watch is in Wyoming, where they're trying to make a point. By Wyoming GOP lawmaker pushed a bill to ban electric vehicles by 2035. He did this to make a point after everyone freaked out that they would do this. The bill stated that they want to save Wyoming's oil industry. It's the lifeblood of the community and things like that. But at the same time, it's been said that Wyoming could start to go to mining the materials used for electric cars, which would help that industry just shift over to something else without losing jobs. But the lawmaker did come back and say he was just doing it to make a point. The point is...
The prank, bro.
Yeah. I get it. I know you don't. We've got states forcing people to give up ICE vehicles whether they like it or not. And that's usually not what America is about, forcing people to do stuff that they don't want. That's when people start to get a little defensive, even if they're defending the wrong thing. So
you must be new here. Are you familiar with the Cuyahoga River? Yeah, we forced the factories to stop dumping toxic solvents in it so that it wouldn't catch on fire as many times. I think it was the fifth or sixth time it caught on fire when the EPA was finally created. But, leaded gasoline, I mean, sometimes you have to pull people kicking and screaming into the future.
Yeah.
Uh, I was hoping Wyoming would actually ban electric cars so that way they could have to drive to another state to get their cars because there won't be any cars to sell. And it'd be kind of fun to watch them struggle a little bit. The state only has what a few 100,000 people, so it'd be
Yeah.
it's comparable to like Sioux Falls. I don't know.
Wyoming is the smallest state by population, or at least it was last time I looked. Uh, the whole thing about this is these states are really virtue signaling by banning particular cars by 2030, 35, or whatever dates they pick, because the auto manufacturers are already saying that they're going to stop making them. So they're doing it just to kind of make people feel good about what they're doing, because these cars are not going to be produced. I didn't look it up, but pretty much most of the major legacy automakers have said that they're going to stop producing ICE vehicles after a certain time frame. Now, there's a couple that have gone really far and said like 2040, 2050, but they're going to have to join the bandwagon at some point.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just silly. I mean, I have opinions of lawmakers who push anti-scientific horse nonsense like this, but whatever, it's fine. They can. I like to avoid politics because if I met them, I assume I would like to avoid politicians.
Mhm. More than likely, because they're probably more like used car salesmen. But I got a
Oh,
good place for all of those people.
where's that?
In the back of the new Mustang Mach E hearse.
I love it so much. I like the limousine, but I also like the tall limousine.
Uh,
That's what it is, right?
yeah, if you want to move around dead people, yeah. Um,
Well, I mean, it does look like a Pope mobile now that you mention it.
yeah, it does. So I don't know if like I need in the hearse that I'm going to ride in one day. I'm not sure I need that big of a window. Probably not going to be able to see out of it no matter what.
Yeah, but for your fans to observe you lying in state.
I guess that would work. So the limo, see, that's real interesting because can they get a bigger battery pack?
Well, no. I mean, I assume not. I assume lengthening a car is, carpentry. Adding another battery pack is like rocket science. So no, they'll just have a shorter range due to the weight. But that's, how it's not like you're doing road trips in a limo. You're just tooling around town. So this will be fine. I don't envy the shop that has to do all the surgery, but that was also true when it was internal combustion.
Well, I personally do envy the shop because I think that would be fun if you just got to rebuild stuff with your hands. And stretching out a car is a very complicated process. I've seen some shows on it, but
Not in Photoshop.
no, not rendered, but like I actually saw a real live show. There's a lot that
Right.
has to be done in it. So
Yeah, those are neat. Those are neat. That'll be fun. So yeah, hearse. Got any segue?
Hertz.
Hertz.
Did you say Hertz or hearse?
I don't remember, but did you know that Hertz increased its fleet of electric rental cars? Then its profits exploded.
Wow. I heard that Hertz rents hearses by the hour. By the hour.
Neat. Huh.
Yeah, so Hertz
Oh,
Hertz signed on to
yeah.
get even more electric vehicles, and another 20 or 25,000 between I think Polestar and Tesla. So they're just going to keep loading up on those.
Well, it says during the third quarter earnings call, they confirmed a deal with GM for 175,000 TVs.
That's more than I have.
Yeah, but how by how much?
174,995. That was easy math.
I didn't know you'd be so quick with it. You did good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boy, this article really wants to draw your attention to underline things.
You
My
know,
goodness, that's obnoxious.
are
What
the,
a hot mess.
that's like a font, underlined
Yeah,
font that is
yeah,
just
for all their links. Oof.
wow, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, it gets worse.
it gets so much worse. This isn't a surprise to anyone watching this. We know this. It's EVs have less maintenance cost. The brakes don't wear out as often. There's no oil changes. The timing belt doesn't exist.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that when Hertz sells all of these cars, when they reach about 50,000 miles, which is about when they sell them, that they'll never have changed the brakes on
Oh, for sure.
on almost every one of them. That they won't have a brake guy anymore.
So these rental companies typically get rid of the cars once the powertrain warranty, once the not the powertrain, but the bumper to bumper warranty's gone. They don't want to pay for repairs, not door handles, not trim pieces, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they'll be. I don't know why they're making them so affordable for Uber drivers, but they sure are.
Because they know it's just a constant rental. It's basically like they're leasing out the car to someone else.
Yeah. So I have a friend, Kelly, who is not hard up for cash, but she still decided to drive Uber periodically on her time off to evangelize for EVs, to show people how good they are. And literally on her days off, she'll just pop on the app, pick people up, and if you and one guy was like, "Oh man, can I take pictures?" She's like, "Absolutely." Turns off her availability, lets the guy spend 20 minutes taking pictures of the car.
Wow. So
Yeah.
she's technically is an evangelist.
I mean, for real, an evangelist. Her and her husband also go out to the supercharger locations and do the trash cleanup and all that, the free maintenance, because they're just all about it.
If I had that much free time in my life, that's not what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do, but that's not what I would do. Now, when I go to a supercharging station, I just don't leave trash. That's my contribution.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they also, her and her husband also talk to. There's a lot of Uber drivers who will come out there who are renting cars from Hertz who aren't part of the EV or the Tesla ecosystem, and they don't know a lot of the etiquette. So, pretty interesting. She's
Now,
getting
granted,
getting pretty serious.
those people do need smacked around. The people who do not know the charging etiquette, absolutely.
Yes,
I'll take
yes,
part in that. That could be my
yes.
contribution.
Is smacking people around. That's
Yeah.
great. That's a good idea. I think you found your calling. Huh. Um, the only real problem is the only real problem is they're too expensive, right?
Nah, they used to be, but check this
What?
out.
Let's hear
Tesla
it.
Tesla has dropped the price so much that I took a big hit on my net worth. So yeah, they dropped prices, and are you surprised?
Nope.
I'm not in the
Nope.
least. Several reasons why I'm not surprised. Elon Musk said we're going to drop prices back down as soon as we can. He literally said that. So, did I go out and buy a Tesla in the last 6 months? No, I didn't. I even sold one.
Hmm.
So, it just these people that are getting upset about it, or people like JJ who thinks that this was a bad thing.
Oh, does he?
Well, wasn't he commenting in your chat that about
Oh, he didn't say it was a bad thing.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of hate going on from Tesla about the price being dropped, especially with people who just bought a car. Uh, but that's people not paying attention or doing their research, because
Yeah.
it was said when the prices were going up because what their costs were going up, and when inflation starts going back down and their costs go down, then they're going to lower the prices. That was said, and I think that this was timed very well for them and they probably were able to lower the prices 3 months ago, but they didn't because they wanted to catch up on their backlog. Because when Tesla drops the price of their vehicles, if you've got an order in, they drop the price on that order. So when they had 6 months worth of backlog, if they dropped the price, that meant that they were going to be giving, in some cases, $16,000 times 500,000 orders. And that doesn't make sense. So once they got to the point where they only had like a month's worth of orders of backlog, that's the time to drop the price. But they probably could have done it several months ago.
The other thing to remember is
that's my theory.
the other thing to remember is if you placed an order when it was 60,000 and it went up to 66, you still get that 60. So a lot of those price increases were not realized by buyers along the way. It was primarily people who were able to buy something in inventory that was for maybe the financing fell through or whatever. The car was not picked up by the person who ordered it. Those are the people, the urgent buyers, who were most likely to pay the highest MSRP.
And that was not me. So
And they still didn't get swindled on a extended warranty or free oil changes for life.
they did not. They didn't even get asked about, hey, can we take another $5,000 off and just get you this window etching for $5,000 in case someone steals your car? They won't break your windows or anything.
Right. Well, and what in the heck is the etching gonna do? I don't even want the car back at that. If the VIN has been removed, I don't want the car back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that the legacy guys do, and a lot of quality issues that the legacy guys get away with. That it's just such a double standard. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time a legacy automaker has lowered the price of their car?
Oh, I'm going to go with never. Honda, my friend had an Accord, loved Accords, and Honda's plan always was every year it goes up by about the amount of inflation. Every year the new Accord is 2% more than it used to be. So it's always the best time to buy it because it's only going up. Prices don't go down. And these people who are annoyed, upset that, the price went down. A, were you paying attention? And B, can you believe this, Bear? I bought a computer, it was $800, and now the same computer is $600. What's going on?
That would never happen.
That would never happen. Honda bumps. Yeah, Jeff.
Wham bam Tesla cam.
That's not a thing, right? Oh, watch another video. Another Honda bump. Son of a... Well, I guess it is.
Yeah, I learned about the Honda bump from that channel, and also that BMWs don't use turn signals, and they may not even have them.
They have them. They're decorative. I used to have a BMW, and it had this thing. I don't know what it was for, but if you accidentally hit it, it would make like a noise, like a bomb, like a time bomb kind of sound. I don't know what it was.
That is weird.
And it gave you a warning light that the time bomb was ticking. So.
Oh, like an arrow or something?
Yeah.
I heard of that. I heard of that.
Oh, yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anybody else lowering prices?
Yeah, everyone. Except for the American car manufacturers, because they don't do that. So, Xiaoping triggers price war in Chinese EV market, slashing prices to compete with Tesla.
Yeah.
Which I think more will follow, don't you?
Absolutely. This is just the first of many. This is a company that is still teetering, and they have to lead. So they made a quick move before NIO, before BYD. But if you think NIO and BYD aren't also going to drop their prices, I don't know, man. If they can afford to, they will. And the legacy guys, I mean, why would you buy a car that is inferior in every metric if it was also more expensive? You would have to really hate Twitter man in order to justify overpaying by $15,000 on a car that slow charges.
Oh, don't say slow charging. You made me think of that thing I told you about the Bolt earlier. We should put up a poll. Should I buy a Bolt?
Well, yeah. You know what? Let's go to the next story. And while you're doing that, I'm going to put up a poll.
Okay, great. So one of the nice things about a Model Y is that it's got a heat pump in it, and they can heat up the car fairly quickly without using too much electricity due to what is it, the octavalve? Is that what it's called?
Yes, the octavalve is the improved version of the super bottle, correct?
Yes. And apparently the Ford F-150 Lightning can also heat up a vehicle a lot quicker. Uh, this article talks about, and they have a video showing these guys doing it. They had a Dodge Caravan with obviously an ICE engine and a F-150 Lightning, and they timed how long, at about 32 degrees, how long would it take to warm up that vehicle. The Caravan took a whopping 14 or 15 minutes, and the F-150 was around 4 or 5. So quite a difference in getting warmed up and getting the hell out of the driveway when it's freezing out. So that was an interesting thing, looking at how the ICE vehicles have another advantage or another disadvantage.
So it's crazy. The super bottle was the Model 3's big innovation for heat management, for thermal management. And when Sandy Munro tore into it and we got to see what it was, I was impressed. Everyone was impressed. Sandy was impressed, which is even crazier. They've got to, and I was like, no one's going to catch up with this. And then the Model Y comes out and they've scrapped it. They're on to the next thing. And even now, nobody has caught up with the super bottle, as far as we can tell, in terms of efficiency. And the octavalve is still well on the horizon. The legacy guys, their engineering divisions are siloed in such a way that they can't, cross pollinate and get everything working together the way they want to. Which is why you'll look at a lot of cars that should have a frunk that don't have a frunk.
Because they've got hoses, dozens of feet of hoses to to keep the vehicles cool and warm. It just makes me wonder, why don't they just pay them something for the patent or licensing fees and just go, you know what, it's going to save us design costs. These cars are going to be 10% better. Why don't they just do something like that? Do
you want to hear my take?
It's pride.
It's because it's pride. They would have to admit that Tesla's doing it better. And if they did that, they're afraid that people would just go buy from them. And wouldn't you? Maybe. It's easier to just say, no, look, Tesla says they're better. Tesla fanboys say they're better. The cultists, the stands say they're better, but they're not. They're not better. I promise you. And so, yeah, lying is easy.
You look very good.
Thank you, Bear.
You're
Thank
right.
you.
You
Thank
are,
you. That well, you're obviously a very smart man.
Yeah. Whew. Lying is easy.
It is easy. Mm-hmm.
So speaking of heat pumps,
Yeah. What about them?
Audi and Volkswagen.
What? Well, Audi. Yeah. Audi's like, you know what? Semiconductor supply shortage. No more heat pumps. It's fine in 80% of weather conditions. The other 20%, well, yeah, the range is going to be shortened, but the official range estimate is still 236 miles. Okay, I mean, with or without the heat pump, yeah, you can test it. You can say that in testing, but obviously in practice it's not. Otherwise, I mean, come on, be real.
Then what was the use of the heat pump?
Then why did you have it in the first place?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, chip shortage. Oh, and because we are Volkswagen, guess what? The ID4 also. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I don't know if you know this, but apparently the heat pump was an option. You weren't paying extra for it. It was just an option that we just kind of chucked in.
Yeah, I think people who live in the colder climates, heat is just as important as AC for someone like me.
Right. Yeah. It's the extremes on both sides where you need the thermal management.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even the extremes, but you can get by without a heat pump in some places. In San Diego, maybe, but
Wasn't that named after a whale or something?
It was some part of a whale. I don't remember, but it was.
Yeah.
I saw that in a documentary.
Yeah, I saw that documentary. Deeps just mentioned something, and I was going to pull an article on this, and I forgot. Imagine that. But the Corvette is coming out with a hybrid version, and it was supposed to be announced today, but I forgot to look into it. Um, Deeps also notes that it's $100,000 for the hybrid, which, by the way, is what a vet goes for once you've
Mm,
got some decent packages on it. So
mm.
I don't know if you'd have to add the packages and then get it up even that much more, but I would definitely be interested in seeing an all-wheel drive Corvette that's been enhanced with an electric motor that was designed for speed. So I think that could be kind of an awesome car, even if it is way too much.
I would agree with you, and 100,000 isn't that much considering how much fun it's going to be. It's going to be Model S long range fun, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not plaid, but it's also cheaper than plaid. Um, I did get an interesting comment here that Jeff is pointing out that if the range is the same with or without the heat pump didn't work.
That's true.
It didn't do anything.
It was wind powered. It was a wind powered heat pump.
Uh, uh-huh. Ooh, William is saying that the vet will do 0 to 60 in 2.5.
That's not that much better because if you get the Z51 package, I think you're already at 2.8 or 2.7, and the Z06 package is supposed to bring you down to like 2.6.
Shaving tenths off when you're that low is difficult.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of I was very proud of my Model S being the fastest car that I had, but I think the new Corvette is actually faster than it because
Wow.
it's sub 3, and my Model S
Wow.
is just simply a long range. I didn't get the plaid. So, but I honestly have to say the Corvette is a cooler looking car than the S.
I will look it up maybe after the show. Well, we've still got so much time.
Yeah.
What's the next story?
Yeah,
I'll let you deal with that while I'm looking up the vet.
yeah, because we are running out of stories.
That's fine. We can take comments.
We,
JJ's pushing me to answer a question that about mobile hydrogen. Let me
mobile
find it
hydrogen.
because
Okay.
yeah, he said using. Let me find it because JJ's a good enough guy. I can answer a question once in a while. If I can find it, maybe he'll have to ask again. It's somewhere here.
All right. So anyway, while Brian's looking up the 0 to 60 on a Corvette, and remember to look up the three different packages: Z06, Z51, and Plain Jane. We have these cubes that Audi has demonstrated as part of a local charging network. The only thing that's really interesting to me about this is the fact that this is done with recycled batteries from EVs that have been previously used. And they package them all up together and put them in a perfectly square box. And now they're used to charge other vehicles, which I think is an awesome use of that. There's a lot of whiners out there saying, well, what about where are you going to recycle these batteries and how much does it cost? Well, this is recycling and letting it live on for a very long time. What'd you find?
So these are not these are old car batteries.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we need. I was making sure I was looking at the Corvette. You told me to.
Well, I asked you what'd you find on the Corvette because your head's spinning
Oh,
in
I
all
just
different
found
directions.
I found pictures, but it looks just very similar to the old vet, to the current vet.
Oh, the new Vet is based on the same design.
Oh, I see. I thought I was expecting.
Oh no, that design is too new for them to change it,
Yeah,
and there's still
it's still very current.
yeah, there's still people are overpaying for that car.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If I
Well, that's
find
great.
if I find the guy who bought the car that I wanted for $15,000 over MSRP, I'm gonna do some
Cool.
bad things to him. So what was it?
Um,
Were you looking up the 0 to 60?
no, I was just
Oh,
looking to see pictures of it.
oh, okay, yeah, it looks the
So
same. From my understanding, it was going to have something called stealth mode because when you start that car, it automatically goes like, "Rrrr," gives you a big growl right when it starts. It's pretty loud. So they've got a stealth mode where you can just go. And I don't know how long you can do it, but you can go only on the batteries, and then like you can leave your neighborhood without waking everybody up at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
See, I thought stealth meant that you had performance that people didn't realize. So a stealth model of this would actually be it makes a loud sound, making people think you have the throaty V8 when in fact it's the hybrid.
Okay, I see what you're getting at, but the whole idea of stealth is so that you can actually sneak up on people and do a drive-by without them even knowing you were there.
Oh,
While
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's totally what the stealth is for.
Well, you are obviously deeper into the gangster life than me, so I will defer to your expertise on that.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going full gangster now. I was prepared.
Okay. Well, you look full wino hobo, but I'll take whatever.
Do you have any change?
I have change. I will mail it to you.
No, super chat it to me.
Pass.
Oh, come on. Come on. Can't you just spare a couple quarters or something?
I don't even know if I have that set up.
You know, the place where I park the cars, there's a lot of homeless people. So I feel like if I dress homeless, less of them are going to ask me for money.
So we are at 19 votes on should you get a Bolt, and it's at 53 to 47 yes. So if anyone wants to jump in and vote yes or no.
And save me.
Yeah. Well, the Bolt is not super expensive. It is
not.
It's also not super exciting.
It is not that either. Super exciting. So, yeah. But it is the cheapest EV out there.
Well, and for a buyer who has yet to take advantage of the $7,500 EV tax credit, it's under 20 grand.
What do you mean?
You can get it at MSRP.
What do you mean yet to take advantage?
Isn't there a limited number of them you get per year?
No.
Really? You can get it on every car you get?
Yeah, I bought 3 EVs last year that all qualified.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yep. I did. That's why I was buying EVs. And I may buy just a few this year to qualify for that. Because that's a lot of money.
Wow. That's okay. We're now at 50-50 with 22 votes. What if I should make this bigger?
I'm feeling better about that. Maybe you should put that poll out on Twitter.
I just put it it's on the screen so people can see it now.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, we are doing great on time. If you guys have questions, I should try and find whatever it was that JJ was saying. What about mobile hydrogen for mobile hydrogen refueling?
Well, I think that's a possibility. Technically, Nikola's factory has a mobile hydrogen station there because that's not permanent, and they shipped in the tanks, even though I think they just refill the tanks as needed. But I think that's something that's probably in the works. They would probably need something on a small scale for like AAA when somebody gets stuck on the side of the road. I mean, that's always a possibility of that happening.
I don't know how it works. I mean, if it was easy to make it mobile, they wouldn't have these ginormous stations sitting there that have a refractory period of 20 to 30 minutes in between vehicles. But, whatever. People are welcome to invest in any manner of dead technology they like. You can look into steam or reformed smoke. I don't know. It's great. There's good stuff out there. And
are you sure about that 20 to 30 minutes between charges?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are?
There's a video. Well, in theory or in practice, because in practice, there's a refractory period between each vehicle that goes through a hydrogen. You can pump the car in 5 minutes. The next guy's got to wait for the station to recharge, to recompress for the next guy. Okay. There's a video of a guy who tried to do a road trip around just his area of California. I'll get to that in a minute. Just his part of California where the hydrogen stations actually are, and what an absolute nightmare it was. Who is this said, that's the same refractory period as me. a lot of stamina there. Who is this?
20 to 30 minutes. What are you?
That's impressive.
Are you 16 years old?
Hey, how's Lucid doing?
Lucid is, well, how are they doing is different from the article that I have here. Their production numbers, they pop those out on the 12th of January. Their yearly production was 7,180, beating their revised guidance of 6 to 7,000, and they produced 3,493 for quarter four. Now, that was revised guidance. Their original guidance was 20,000, and then their revised guidance again was 12 to 14, and then their super revised was 6 to 7,000.
Tell me the top number again.
7,180.
No. Their original.
Oh, 20,000.
Yeah. So I just love that. So Bear had sent me this link, and I didn't look at it today. I was like, oh, I've seen something about this. And I scroll down, and the first response is from me, and the second response is from William, who's maybe in the chat. And if not, he'll probably catch it on the repeat.
Yeah.
Nope. He's in the chat. He's in the chat. So we're playing the greatest hits, guys. Sometimes the music's so good, you just got to play it again.
Yeah. Well, I thought this would be good to share with everyone who's not on Twitter.
Absolutely. I'm not complaining. I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm concerned. 3493 in Q4, and at one time you saw 1,600 of them on the lot.
There's probably still 1,600 or so on the lot.
Oh,
yes.
Man. Oh, 130,000 is a lot. 170,000 is a lot.
Yeah, most of those cars are probably 159,000. Most of them are GTs.
Oh no. Well, it's hard to ramp production when you can't move the units you've got. It's hard to get price down when you can't get the volume going. Jeff asks, anyone seen Peter Rawlinson anywhere? I hope he's not visiting the Saudi embassy.
Oh God.
No. I mean, just for paperwork, Bear.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I gotta go visit the embassy. No, he's actually parking some Lucid Airs in my yard. They're now leasing out space in my yard.
Oh. So that's kind of fun. Boy, we are doing great on time.
Yeah, we should have dragged these articles out a little bit more, huh?
David Huber is saying, I'm going to go look up what refractory means. There's a joke in here, and I'm not sure what it is. Oh, the Lucids get the 7,500? No. Nope, they are over the price limit.
Even, I think the Air Pures are also over the price limit.
Well, they're not SUVs, they're sedans, so they'd have to get down to 55,000.
Yes, and I believe that my order, since it was placed last year, is still going to qualify. So,
what price are you going to be at, you think?
On my price right now is like 86, but I ordered last year.
I thought you had to take delivery.
No, if you have a reservation or a firm order, then it should carry over.
All right. By the way, how many e-Hummers have been sold in the 5 quarters that have been reported?
What the hell? And first of all, I don't know how many, but I know that they're all white. Okay.
They are all white. That is correct.
Apparently, red paint doesn't stick to a Hummer, so they're trying to work that out.
380 in 5 quarters.
I swear I've seen like 10% of them. I saw a car hauler carrying 6 Hummers, so that's 6 right there. I've already seen a major percentage.
That is a substantial. That is a measurable percentage of all the white Hummers ever made.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And how many Lyrics were sold last quarter?
Probably about the same.
7.
7. Oh, not the same.
7. Oh. Mary Lead, Bear.
So they can make a Bolt because they're making a lot of those now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, comparatively speaking, not to Teslas, but those are on the lot. Those can be bought. You can go buy one tonight. Maybe because they're so freaking ugly, but that's beside the point. They know how to make them.
Yeah.
But
What they don't know how to do is make them profitably. And if you're losing money on everyone you sell, your motivation to sell in high volume is limited.
Do you think that's why GM sent me an email on my guidance of when I was going to get my Hummer?
What did they say?
They said we are hoping that you die before your order comes due, so we don't have to make it. Which, I mean, there is a chance I will be dead the longer they push this out, but they said Q1 of 2025. That was a real email from them.
So that said, please, have you considered dying? 27 votes. Yes, you should buy a Bolt is at 56%.
These people hate me. Do you know, also in that email, GM said that my order is inheritable. So I could...
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
I could pass it on to...
Did they really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What was it you said earlier about lying?
It's so easy.
It's so easy. So easy. Mm-hmm.
But next on my order list, believe it or not, is going to be this monster.
Yeah. You know, the bigger vehicles, you can't charge them quickly, is the thing.
That's absolutely not true, because somehow, I don't know if they're harnessing lightning or something, but they are charging this thing up in 30 minutes. And it's a 1.4 megawatt. How the hell are they doing it in 30 minutes? Are they tapping into the core of the planet?
Yeah. Maybe they're using megapacks. Wow, look at those battery packs. Good gravy.
They must be. You know what? You see the stuff on the left side? Those little sparkle things? That's part of a Dyson spear. That's how they're charging this thing.
Neat.
Yeah. You know what a Dyson spear is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it captures the entire output of a sun, of a star.
Yeah, like get yourself a little white dwarf, park it over by your mining facility.
Did you just call me a white dwarf again?
That sounds kind of racist.
It sounds super racist, Bear, and I don't appreciate it.
That's better than being a red dwarf.
I'm not even sure what that means.
You know what it means. You absolutely know what it means. So really, how are they charging this thing?
I'm not sure. I have to actually deal with something real quick. I will be right back. I apologize.
All right. Well, Brian has a medical emergency going on. It might be a bathroom break. Who knows? Hopefully nothing serious. But after he changes his underwear, he will be back with us. So if anyone has any idea how something like this would be charged in 30 minutes, 1.4 megawatt battery pack is a normal, let's say Model S has a 100 kilowatts. So that's 14 Model S battery packs by size. And they're able to charge them so quickly. I'm just looking through this, trying to see what would actually bring us to that level so quickly. But that is something that would work out really well in the mines. Saves a lot of fuel. Are you okay?
Yeah. It was a family. Kids. So
can't live with them, can't kill them.
It remains ill-advised to harm children, which is, I mean, throughout most of human history, the good books say honor your parents, not honor your kids, but whatever. Do you notice in this picture with the batteries, in the background, you can see a wheel of one of the trucks? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Massive. So I think one of the answers is, um, one of the answers is a different voltage architecture. One is by cranking in a bunch of just raw wattage, but the other is the battery being that big, and also fast charge in 30 minutes. I assume that's not to 100. I assume that's to 80. So if you leave a bigger buffer on it and just call it 100,
Yeah.
but it's amazing. Did we talk about the mine where the trucks never have to charge because they bring material downhill
Yeah, we
and
did.
regen all the way down heavy and go
Yeah.
back up empty?
Yeah, we did talk about that. Why would they be going down empty, going into a
Going
mine?
down full, going down. No. The mine is on the top of the hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. I
Ah.
think that's almost like a perpetual motion machine, which does not exist.
My brother's an electrician, and he believes there's not enough grid to support EVs.
So he's an electrician,
But he-
meaning he can repair my outlets. And,
Yes.
And maybe rewire a panel, right?
Yes, but he's the same guy who asked me, are people in Australia upside down? And I said, oh no, you're serious. He goes, no. I go, well, you mean like relative? He goes, well, are they upside down? Are they upside down? Holy,
Well,
What?
relative to the way we're standing, yeah.
no, I don't mean relative. I mean, are they upside down?
Um,
What the He also said, why can't there be perpetual motion? I said, well, imagine a solar powered light feeding. He goes, yeah, why can't you have that? I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
um,
Mark says they have to drain the truck battery every night. So I think I got to end your poll here, Bear. Oh dear, I did that.
what happened? Why'd you end it? Did I
Oh.
lose?
No. Well, yes. I mean, 54% yes on 28 votes. End poll.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Such a bad
Oh.
idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, this, by the way, not legally binding, this poll.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Did I sign something when we started that?
Yeah. So that's fun. Well, we are.
Dead Prez wants to know if we've ever discussed Arrival. I assume we're talking about the movie.
What? Arrival. I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
It's capitalized, so the movie. Is that the one with the aliens with the circles?
Is that the one with the squid looking thing in the
Yeah.
in the tank? Yeah.
Yeah. Arrival trucks, Jeff says, maybe? Oh, they're delivery vans from the UK. Ah, that makes more sense. No, we haven't. We can look into that.
Hey, we should start doing movie reviews.
Movies that have nothing to do with cars.
Yeah.
Or EVs or renewables. It's a great idea, everybody. Well, it is that time, Bear. I do not know if you know that I wish to thank my patrons who are awesome and keep the channel running. Thank you all so much.
And I'll throw out a hearty thank you. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys being here. And you non-patrons too. You get a thank you. We do appreciate
JJ
you.
wants
What?
JJ wants to know if we ever talked about Nikola.
Nope, we didn't.
No.
Here we'll talk about Nikola right now. I'll make this short. I'll make this sweet. Nikola announced that they'll have their earnings call on February 23rd or 24th at a certain time that I didn't remember. And for all you that want to, I will live stream it so that we can all scratch our heads together. Hopefully there'll be some splaining.
You know what I think I'll do? Is because I don't cover that stuff that much, it's like too detached, is I'll probably do a live commentary of your live stream.
That's
Where
great.
it's just me in the corner commenting on you commenting. I think that'd be terrible. but I would do it anyway.
Well,
'cause it's
you know what
funny.
you could also do? You could also, get some sort of like editing tool while you're going and like draw like a mustache. Well, maybe shave my beard or something. Draw a hat on me. If you really want to
Mhm.
mock me, go
Yeah,
all
yeah.
out. Go all out. Maybe put a
Yeah,
filter on my
yeah.
face to make me a little bit more handsome.
I don't know if that technology exists, but it's worth looking into.
Yeah, well, I say a little bit because you can't go much further than this before
Ah,
you break.
once you're a 9.5.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
maybe bring me up to a 10.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. All right. Well, thanks everybody. It has been an hour. Join us next week when we do a pre-taped show. Who knows? Maybe I'll be in the in the chat. I don't think he will.
No, I don't think I will be. Good chance I'll be. Well, I told you where I'm going to be, so I'll probably be on the farm, or the chain gang, or
Mm-hmm.
the showers, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We will see you
Very
next
cool.
week.
Yeah. And thank you, Bear.